Hey guys, so welcome to our first podcast with me, Aiemann Zahabi, Mandel Nallo, and Louie Sanoudakis. We're going to be covering UFC events. We're going to start off with the Dern fight that happened last weekend, and we're going to talk about UFC 311, Islam Makhachev versus my boy.
The other guy.
I'm just kidding. Armin Tsarukyan, my Armenian brother, man. I was just making a joke, guys. Really great guy. My wife's Armenian, so we're rooting for Armin. I'm Muslim, so I'm also rooting for Islam.
Yeah.
It's like we're divided on this.
We're rooting for both guys.
We want the better man to win.
I want the fans to win.
Louis was hoping for a female main event.
That's the dream.
Yeah.
I was hoping for an all-female card, personally.
Tell me, did you guys get to watch the Dern fight?
I watched the finish. I watched maybe... I feel like I watched the second round.
You feel like this guy.
Yeah, I didn't really, I might have not watched any, I'll be honest. No, I caught...
What were you doing last week if you couldn't watch the event?
On a Saturday?
Yeah.
I'm busy, brother.
Mandel has 2 sons and a wife.
Yeah, so I was probably in bed or something. It's important.
Really busy, really busy. What were you doing Saturday?
I watched the whole event,
nice.
to bottom, prelims.
He knows it all. He's going to do full breakdowns.
Ask me about
Give us another fight that was on the card.
There were so many good ones that I can't pick. Like
he doesn't want to name one.
I don't want to name exactly. If I name one, then I feel like I'm doing an injustice to the other ones. I didn't. I'd have to name all the cards, and people know what happened.
We want to save you guys, your guys' time.
Yeah. You should go back and watch the card because we're big UFC fans, all 3 of us.
Exactly,
huge.
We love it. We love watching fights. We love watching all fights.
I only talk about fights.
Yeah,
with whoever wants to listen,
regardless of quality.
One thing I found interesting about that fight was that the girl was stuck in the armbar, and she was doing such a good job of stacking Dern.
It happened consistently, right, throughout the whole fight. I feel like she got armbarred 3 times,
But it was like a back-to-back kind of thing.
Yeah.
But she was doing such a good job of defending, and then after she got swept, when she got on her back,
and then Dern went to mount, right?
Yeah, let it go.
That was actually cool. And then re-armbarred.
It. Yeah, that was crazy. That was a good sequence. So she's great at grappling.
She got back to her roots. She hasn't done it in a while, but she got back to her roots. It's true.
It's good. It's true. This is the analysis people are tuning in for.
What was the other fight with Chris Curtis? Did you see that fight?
Chris
Roman Kopylov.
Yeah, he fought Roman Kopylov.
Yeah.
Did Kopylov fight Nordine back in the day?
I'm not sure.
I feel like he fought one of our teammates.
I don't think so, but I can
look it up.
I got to fact check you in real time.
Look it up.
What did you think about the stoppage?
Look, I like Chris. I thought it was a fine stoppage.
I thought it was good, man. Chris, a friend of ours, trained with us.
He's a good fighter. He's super.
He's no
tough.
friend of mine.
He was a tough. It was a tough fight, but at the end of the day, I don't think it matters whether the ref stopped it or not.
I mean, nothing to be embarrassed about, in my opinion. I mean, sometimes we're gonna go out, we're gonna get caught.
That's it.
And the way
he didn't bounce right back up.
Yeah, because he got hit and he went down and he was on all 4s. And if they let Roman jump on him, he was just gonna eat extra shots.
Exactly. If that happened in the middle of the fight and his reaction was that way, people would have been totally fine with the stoppage. Because he did react poorly to being knocked down.
Yeah, of course.
He didn't bounce back and he didn't go to guard to start defending right away. He looked like he was ready to go out. So only the fact that there were a couple seconds left made it so that people were like, ooh, that's a bad stoppage. Because he could, he could have survived 2 seconds, sure.
And I think it was Aaron Bronstetter on Twitter, he was saying how the judges are trained to not care about the 10-second clap, in the sense that if the guy's in danger, and even though you heard the 10-second clap, if he's out, you stop it.
Yeah.
If he's not out, you can let it go. But if he's done, he's done.
The main objective of the referee is to protect the fighters. Yeah.
Protect you. And I think he protected him. I have all the respect in the world for Chris Curtis. I thought it was still a good fight for him. I thought he looked good. He hurt the other guy. Looking good.
It was a knockdown, drag-out war.
And then Chris Curtis said after the fight on Instagram that he wasn't even hurt. I don't know. Listen.
I find that strange.
Yeah.
I mean, to fall down after a head kick and not be hurt is a little bit odd. And then to fall down and get knocked down by a head kick and not get up right away is even stranger if you're not hurt.
You know, I think like
I'm
shame
not
in
trying to trash him.
yeah. There's no shame in saying I did get hurt, because if people are so worried about because they heard the 10 seconds, then they should.
That's
it's
irrelevant.
a non-issue.
Exactly.
The ref's job is not to pay attention to that.
The ref is not supposed to care about the time.
No, absolutely not.
You know, that's why sometimes some guys they get TKO'd with a second left.
Yeah.
It happens.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Yep. It's the game.
Yeah, because referees just basically listen. They let you take as much damage as they judge is enough, and then at one point they have to call it. They call it.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah, and look, I'm not a huge ref guy.
Yeah,
you know?
me neither.
I'm not here to give any refs the benefit of the doubt. Like I think refs have a way easier job than fighters.
Yeah.
Usually I side on the side of a fighter. I just think that this situation is pretty unambiguous.
Yeah.
You said refs have a harder job than fighters.
No, I don't think that.
You think fighters, have a harder
Yes.
job than the refs. But the refs got to go out multiple times in the night, and the
That's
fighter
true.
only has to do it
It's
once.
taxing.
The fighter only has to do it once.
That's true.
Ref's job is infinitely harder than fighting.
And refs' pants look terrible, so that's another factor.
Yeah, that's a big
One
problem.
thing Dominic Cruz brought up about it in an interview recently, I think it was with Ariel Helwani. He was saying how like the referees should have to explain why they made the decisions they made, and judges too. So it's not like hanging only the referees,
Yes.
but he's saying for judges, because sometimes it happens where people can't understand how they judged it that way or how a referee made his decision. We have to find a way for them to explain themselves.
There needs to be some accountability. Like,
Yeah.
sure, it's tough to make these calls,
Yeah.
but you're affecting guys' entire lives.
Yeah.
You know, like a guy losing a fight on a bad ref's call or judge's call, the trajectory of their career can change drastically from that decision. So, like, you see it all the time. A ref will make a bad call, or what the entire fan base thinks is a bad call, and the fighters, and then the ref kind of disappears for a while.
Yeah.
And their Twitter or whatever, Instagram goes quiet, and then they're just back reffing fights, and everybody's like, oh, they forget about it.
Yeah.
Like, that's a whole guy's life you just fucked up.
One of your fights, you were gonna win on the way to the scorecards. Remember that?
Yes.
The rear naked choke.
Yes,
There was
yes.
almost no time left.
Yeah.
I remember I texted you. You're like, "Fuck."
But like, and that's
It's
a
like a fucking
situation
weird
where
situation.
like I felt I was losing the fight.
Okay.
It was like, you know, it was tight-ish
Yeah.
going into the third. But like if they would have, in my opinion, robbed the guy that was fighting me, that would have fucked him so bad. You
It
know?
would have fucked him up, but it would have been fucking good
Yeah,
for
it
you.
would have been great.
'Cause they had you up 2 rounds.
Yeah, so maybe these judges aren't so bad.
We love these judges.
It's Ponzinibbio.
Oh man, that was a crazy fight, man. Rock Ponzinibbio, man. He got him wobbling at some point.
Yeah.
He hurt it bad.
Yeah.
But Ponzinibbio showed a lot of heart, and he's a guy who's, you know, he's taken a lot of damage. Like he's knocked out some guys.
Pretty long career. Was primed to be in the top 10.
Yeah.
He beat Gunnar Nelson, right?
Yeah.
He knocked him out with the. He was kind of an eye poke guy. I remember. But
His name, yeah. Let's see.
I think that
Because Gunner's a tough guy to beat.
it's nice to see a guy like Ponzinibbio. He's 38.
Young. I like to think
as
young. I feel great.
For MMA, that's as young as it gets.
He's the youngest
But how old
man.
are you now? You're 35.
I'm
bro.
coming up on 30. I'm coming up on 36.
Oh, late 30s.
So-
you went from mid 30s to late
I know,
30s.
and Technically, I am the youngest MMA fighter because Ponzinibbio is 38 and he's as young as it gets.
So you're basically a
I'm
prospect.
a spring chicken.
Yeah.
You're young as hell. You're
They
the
have way less
youngest.
damage.
I talk to promoters. They say we've never seen a guy as young as you. We don't even know how to promote you. He beat Gunnar.
Might be
Yeah,
illegal.
they always
You
ask you,
fighting.
can you drink? Can you come on? Can you
What's
fight at these
What's
bars?
going on with you? We need to see a piece of ID.
I was gutted for him, that whole suit thing when he had the nice suit and all that.
And
he
the
couldn't
fight
wear
got
it.
canceled, right?
Yeah.
Damn, that was a good suit.
Yeah, and then it just happened to another guy who got a tailor-made suit to UFC. I can't remember who it was right now, but then like they didn't bring him to the presser, so he could have.
If-
it was Landwehr.
Oh,
He's like, they
damn,
didn't
he lost, though.
Yeah, and he lost. But he's like, I got this nice suit.
They
and
need to
stuff.
just let guys do a little runway show afterwards. If
Yeah,
they wore a
yeah.
nice suit, you know, let them walk by the cameras.
Yeah.
Tell him who your tailor is. You know, give the guy some love. He wore a nice suit.
Yeah,
It's
you gotta give
expensive.
him-
Suits aren't cheap.
If the
Suits aren't
guy's
cheap.
dressed like a trash bag, you know, get him out of here.
Yeah,
But if
yeah.
he wore a nice suit, even with the loss, let him walk on, strut his stuff.
Yeah,
That's what I would do.
yeah, exactly.
When you lose a fight, They're like, go back to the hotel. We don't want to talk to you.
Even when you win the fight, they send you back. But at least they let you
But
do,
they'll do a little
media,
scrum.
a little media stuff, but then you got to get out of there. Remember that stuff? Did you see that Johnny?
The guy that came to TriStar.
Yeah.
Johnny Walker.
Johnny Walker, they let him out without his shoes on.
Oh,
He
yeah,
just
I
ended
saw
up in the
that.
parking lot barefoot without no shirt, no clothes on.
Quite a situation. Did he had just won?
He had just won.
Yeah.
Yeah. He did all his interviews, but he never got dressed, and then they just dropped his bags off. They're like, "Hey, you gotta get out.
Bye.
Of here. Bye. See you later."
No, local shows are pretty nice.
Yeah.
You know? Like, having been on the scene for a while now, like you just kind of walk around wherever you want at a local show.
It's actually like you own the place.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Especially if you win a fight at a local show, you're a hero.
Yeah, you're a king.
There's nowhere you can't go.
Yeah.
I'll be back in the cage.
Yeah, there was I had a funny moment actually. One time I was cornering my friend Syed Yaqub karate combat. Actually, the first karate combat he fought in. We go there. He wins his fight, so we're walking around because everyone knows he fought.
Yeah.
Right. So we get to go anywhere we want. Right. And then we're trying to go say what's up to Asim, the president of Karate Combat.
Mm-hmm.
And so I get through like the security guy, and Saeed is walking right behind me.
Yeah.
So they let me in, and then when Saeed's coming in, and I wasn't fighting, Saeed was fighting.
Yeah.
The security guard lets him pass, but then some other gentleman who's not even working for the event goes, "Hey, you can't come here."
Talking to him or you?
Talking to Saeed. No, I got through.
Yeah.
And he turns around to grab Saeed. He's like, "No." And I look at him like, "Are you security?" He's like, "No." And I'm like, "Okay."
That's
I'm like,
cool.
Security is letting him in. Why are you stopping him?
Yeah.
I'm like, "He fought tonight." He's like, No. He's like, "You know who I am?" I'm like, "No." I'm like, "Who are you?" I'm like,
Yeah.
"You don't work here?" Like, I don't understand. Like, why are you stopping somebody? He's like, you know the Logan brothers?
Hell yeah.
Logan Brothers, I know those guys.
Yeah. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, okay. He's like, "I'm their coach."
Oh, shit.
I'm like, okay. I'm like, what? Their boxing coach? I'm like, he's like, yeah. I'm like, but what does that have to do with letting him in to VIP? He's like, well, I help the president of Karate Combat. I'm like, I don't care, man. You know what I mean? Like, my
That's
buddy
a cool
just fought
move.
tonight for Karate Combat.
Yeah.
So I tap on Asim. I'm like, Asim, who's this guy? Why is he still letting Saeed in? And Asim's like, let him in. He just fought tonight.
That's cool.
The guy's like, oh, okay. It's like, bro, the guy fought on the card.
I'll let him in because I want to.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
That's a
Trades
cool move.
what-
I'm going to
trades
start
what-
just being security.
Yeah,
around
I don't
places.
understand what he was
whoa,
trying to-
whoa, buddy. Where do you think you're going?
He's there to enjoy the show, and he's stopping people from coming into VIP.
That's a cool move.
I didn't understand.
Yeah, that's cool.
It was honestly for me, it was a very awkward moment
It has to be.
Very
because we weren't even
strange.
trying to do like
You
a.
don't see guys doing that too often.
Yeah, we weren't even trying to be cool. We're just like, no, literally, we fought tonight.
Just pretending to be security
and
guards.
Asim, the president of Karate Combat, lets all the guys who fought that night and their coaches in the VIP.
Makes sense.
So that's why we were like, we didn't understand because the security guard knows that we fought,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, he has to. He
They
let you
because
in.
we have the bands.
Yeah.
So he let us in, and then this guy's like, no.
The guy just likes
Get out of
his, the guy just likes his space.
It's great.
There's too many people in this VIP. Who are the Logan brothers?
I guess the Paul brothers.
Oh, sorry.
Paul
I said
brothers.
Logan brothers.
Yeah.
I meant Paul brothers.
Oh,
I ran with
I
it.
was-
I
I was-
ran with it.
He told me Logan Paul.
Yes, okay.
So then I just said Logan brothers. Sorry, I meant to say Paul brothers.
That's
My
great
fault,
because
my fault.
if there were Logan brothers, I don't know if this world is ready
Paul
for that.
brothers, Logan Paul and Jake Paul. He trains Logan though more.
Paul Logan and Jake Logan.
That would be fucked up.
Guys, my bad. But yeah, that was just like a funny story at like a local event. But then when we went to your fight
Yeah.
and you beat that guy, you won the belt.
Yeah.
We were walking around
Yeah,
everywhere. It didn't even matter.
It is what it is, you know.
Yeah.
We've been around too much now. We're like,
Yeah.
we kind of know.
Yeah, especially in Montreal.
They know us.
Everyone knows
They know who
us.
fought.
Especially Louie.
Everyone knows me. I'm
Yeah.
super famous.
Louis the
Crazy.
big deal. They call him the big deal.
They
here
call
in
me the big
Montreal.
deal down here. It's
Yeah.
true. Anywhere I go, I get stopped. It's unbelievable.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness, it's the
I
big
have to
deal.
get these guys in everywhere.
And we go a lot of places.
We go to a lot of places. Like it was really easy to get me to come here tonight.
Yeah.
I go.
You
a lot.
wanted to come.
I wanted to come. I was
Yeah.
excited.
Yeah, Louis plays jazz in his life. You know what I mean? He doesn't have a strict schedule.
Nope.
He just
Nope.
goes where the wind blows.
Flies by the
hate
seat of his
routine. I hate
Yeah.
routine.
And he tells his wife nothing. You
No.
know, he just goes out.
I didn't message her.
She
He
doesn't
doesn't
need-
call her, text her. He's just like, you know what? After gym, I'm just going to do whatever I want.
Yeah.
That's-
She just thinks he'll
Blow
be
it on
here.
my phone right now. Not even looking at it.
Yeah, he
He'll
puts it
be
on Do
here
Not
when
Disturb.
he's here.
Yeah.
You know?
If I come home tonight, I come home tonight.
Yeah.
You could
And
be
he has
anywhere.
kids.
Yeah.
He has one in the oven, and he has one 3-year-old.
2-year-old.
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 Kid's big though.
Kid's a big boy. Big bruiser. Like me.
Yeah.
One of the largest guys. That's why they call you the big deal.
Yeah. Upcoming fights?
The next fight coming up on Saturday.
Any drama?
That's happening
What
currently.
was the whole Merab and Umar feud?
Yeah. You know, as much as I don't really care about that fight. Just it's a cool fight, but like I'm not in love. I don't care about the guys.
Yeah. Well, you're not a bantamweight.
That's true, but like, do you care about the guys?
Yeah, no, it doesn't matter.
Like,
It's
I'm not a
the
fan
same
of
difference.
either guy. Like, I think both guys are great. I do think that Merab deserves to call the shots a little bit more as a champion.
Wow.
You know, like it's a pretty quick turnaround for him against the like once you become a champion, it's kind of nice. You see some guys able to do it. They call the shots because they know it makes them the most money, or it's a little bit safer for them. Like their first title defense. When Sean O'Malley was champion, he gets to fight Cheeto, his first title defense.
Yeah,
it's
number
kind of a
6
dream.
or whatever at the time.
You know, for sure he called that shot. And it's a little strange that Merab is getting almost forced into this fight. I'm not saying he can't win. I'm not saying it's totally unfair. It's just kind of, I wish that champions got a little more say.
I didn't understand at the time what he was complaining about so much. But then he brought up one point during that whole shabacle was he's been getting ready for me.
Yeah.
And I've been getting ready for this other guy. And I fought. And now he had this whole year. I think Sean had like a year in between his last fight in fighting Aljo, and Aljo only had like a few months or something.
People don't factor in mileage into pre-fight stuff. Like Aljamain had a tough fight. He fought Henry Cejudo, right?
Yeah.
It's 5 rounds, right? They did 5 rounds?
I think, did he fight TJ and then Henry, or he fought
Henry?
TJ
then Henry.
So like, that's a crazy tough fight. Henry's one of the best guys in the world. It was a 5-round decision. And then immediately they're setting up the O'Malley fight within the next 3 or 4 months. Like, to train for a whole fight, do a fight, recover, and then develop a game plan and a training camp for a new style is a big ask for a champion. And just to see that Sean O'Malley knew who he was fighting before the matchup even happened seemed a little unfair. Like, at least a champion deserves to be treated like the A-side. That's my take.
Yeah, I think also what he was kind of sour about was he felt like he was the B-side, but he's the one with the belt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was even a point.
I feel that. Yeah, I get that. That's the difference between MMA and boxing. Like the A-side really calls the shots. They make more money. They get to decide what gloves both guys wear. They pretty much have like a say in everything, unless the other guy's bringing a ton more money into the fight. But
like, and then you watch that special that they made about the behind the scenes of that whole thing, and then you see I think it was Mick Maynard telling him that he said, "I'm bringing in tons of viewers. You're gonna make a killing because of Sean, because of Sean." And Aljo came out after the fight and said like the numbers weren't that good.
And like when you're a fighter, it doesn't really matter. Like I don't care about who's watching my fight. I want to do well in my fight. And if I've got a little back injury going into it, I want to perform better. I don't care how the fight performs to the fans. You know, like obviously that's important, but that's not your primary goal going into it, especially a title defense. Seems crazy. Yeah,
because you get a lot of perks.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah.
And now Merab is kind of going through the same thing with Umar. Umar's case is a little bit different. He's got Ramadan coming up.
Yeah. It's a tight window. I guess they have to fit it into.
So they want to fit it in, and they feel like Umar earned it. Umar's got a big fan base too, so they kind of forced it down Merab's throat a little bit. But doesn't mean he can't win.
He can absolutely win.
Yeah, no, I think it's probably a 50-50 fight. Breaking it down.
I think what's interesting. I know everyone says, because he's Khabib's cousin. He's wrestling, but.
His kicks are pretty good.
His striking is pretty good.
Yeah, striking
is. I think his wrestling might be weaker than a Khabib and a Islam, and his Umar's striking is better than a Khabib Islam. So maybe we might see Umar on his back.
It's possible.
More possible than I guess seeing.
Fighting Merab, it's almost a guarantee.
Yeah.
There's almost nobody that's managed to stay up completely, except for Jose Aldo.
Yeah, I think it's 22 takedowns or 23 takedowns, something crazy.
Yeah.
But he still won that fight. He still exhausted him. But I do like the dexterity in Umar's legs and how Sean O'Malley stab kicked Merab in the last round.
Yeah.
It's kind of huge tail.
Yeah.
So maybe Umar can land one of those snap kicks early. Who knows?
Yeah, it's an interesting fight for sure. Anytime, honestly, people could call Merab boring, but anytime he's fighting, it's pretty.
It's great.
No, he's interesting. He's an interesting fighter. I like the.
Kissing him on the neck.
Wild man.
I know you Greek boys. You love that.
He's a wild man. He's
Never
a
seen
wild
that
man.
move. It's probably an illegal move, honestly.
Did he do it to
Some
Henry
people call it
too?
the kiss of death.
Did he do it
the
to
Georgian
Henry?
kiss of death?
Yeah.
That's
He did
funny.
it. Who was he? Was he thumbs upping Mark Zuckerberg or something in the Henry Cejudo fight? It was nuts.
He was talking to somebody.
It was crazy.
I don't know how his cardio is so good. That's insane.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It really
and
is
he's super
fucked
strong
up.
because he picked up Henry Cejudo and walked him across the
Yeah.
octagon.
Brought him to his
That
side.
was wild, man.
Yeah.
He got buzzed in the first round of that fight.
Yeah, left hook.
Yeah.
That's another thing. It's
Easy.
interesting that he's susceptible to left hooks. Maybe
Yeah.
Umar, maybe they game plan
Exploits
that.
Yeah,
exploits
because
that.
they are pretty good. That camp is really good at finding little holes. Like what Islam was able to do to Volk in the second fight
Yeah.
was pretty good. Like
Yeah.
to pick that shot
Yeah.
is pretty smart. They're good at that sort of thing.
Jiri Prohaska
Oh,
versus Jamal Hill. Now
Yeah.
that's a fun one. One
Salute,
man.
sorry, Mandel loves Jamal Hill. Number one fan. Can't miss a fight.
Fan-friendly fighter. I actually do. I think he's not bad as a fighter.
Yeah.
Like I think when you watch his technique, as somebody who's watched a lot of Muay Thai and kickboxing, it's like, come on, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
He's not.
But he's got power.
He's got crazy power, and in MMA, that's all it takes. Like, and being effective is important. I think that's one thing. Guys like us who've been in the game for a long time, we forget that like effectiveness is the key to victory. So like you watch Drickus,
Oh man.
it's fucked up to fight him. I don't care how it looks.
Yeah, but it works.
I when I watch him fight and I think of myself fighting him, it's like that'd be fucked up.
Did you watch that video of some analyst looking at Drickus's footwork patterns and talking about it in depth, and then Drickus
I don't
talks
even know
about
what
it,
I'm doing.
and then Drickus watches it. He's like, "No, that's not what I was doing. I was just trying to throw a punch." I think most analysts do that thing where they think they're picking up what a fighter's doing consciously, but really a lot of it's kind of like we just train for a certain thing and it looks a certain way to you, but that's not really what the guy is aiming to do. That wasn't the thought process behind it.
a lot of it is that artistic portion of martial arts, because like even like I get exactly what Drickus was saying. Like I remember like my fight with Pedro when I was stepping back at the end of round one and I threw 3 strikes from the left side. I threw left punch, left kick, left punch. I didn't drill it. I didn't hit pads like that.
Yeah.
I just did it.
It just came out.
Like, it came out,
Yeah.
and it's like I'm sure probably somewhere is gonna analyze it, be like, oh, because of this, he was thinking that, and all that. No, man, the opportunity came, and I just took the shots that I took, and that was it. Sometimes it's like that. Sometimes things slow down so much that maybe you can think, but thinking actually makes you slower. So the idea is basically you drill in the gym. You rehearse it, you practice it. In the fight, you want to be like zoned in and no thinking, just doing. I don't know. How are you guys in the fight?
Yeah, like I think we're all thinkers. Like because of the gym we come out of, we're all mostly technique focused.
Yeah.
In a more.
But fight night in
orthodox
the
way.
octagon, you're thinking, or you're
To a
doing.
degree, probably mostly just reacting.
Yeah.
Like or like let's say. I'm thinking of the basic stuff we go into the fight knowing we need to do.
Yeah.
So if you're game planning for a guy and the game plan is to sprawl, take downs, hit your jab, and then focus on landing the right hand eventually. Like the whole point of, let's say, my thinking in the first 30 seconds of the fight is just like keep your chin down, sprawl the first shot, and land the jab. Like so, I'm thinking, but in a very simplistic way. I'm not.
You're not thinking about the L step. And,
no L step crossing your mind.
And,
even when you knocked out that guy going backwards and you threw that punch.
Yeah. I don't even practice that punch really.
Yeah. But you did it.
Exactly.
And then like when you fought the other guy that went viral there on that
knee.
Carrington Banks.
The knee, Carrington Banks. That was a crazy fight.
Yeah.
They put that on World Star.
It was cool.
Yeah. I remember everyone was giving you trash because you were light skinned.
Well, it was a
It was a battle. He was dark skinned.
The light skins were pretty happy.
You were like the light skinned hero.
Yeah, exactly. I had one day.
One of the funniest and no disrespect to Carrington Banks, great
Good
fighter,
fighter.
and now he's a great
fighter, of
coach.
course.
But one of the comments made me laugh a lot on the World Star video. They said Carrington Banks, more like Carlton Banks.
Oh, bro.
The internet
I'm like,
sucks.
The
damn,
internet
man,
is ruthless, bro.
The internet is the worst. You
Yeah.
cannot if you lose a fight, man, you're the biggest loser on the planet according to the internet, and you
Guys,
suck.
I'm telling you, when I got knocked out in Madison Square Garden with that spinning elbow, it went viral. Brutality for me online. And I
Yeah.
got hate for years, man. Actually,
You're probably still getting it.
I still get
somebody's
crazy.
gonna leave it in the
Actually,
comment,
my last 2 fights, both guys said I'm afraid to get hit, which is
Yeah.
kind of brutal, man. Like leave it in the past. I won so many fights
you-
since then.
You'll never live it
But
down.
I'll never live it
No,
down
no.
because it was such a viral moment. So a lot of people know me more for that than any of some of the other successes. Like I've got knockouts in UFC too, but they didn't go as viral as that one because that knockout
It's a
was
big
that
night.
was the second only spinning elbow knockout in UFC history at that
And it was on a
up to that
crazy
point.
card,
Yeah,
too.
and it was the GSP comeback with Bisping. So it was a lot of big fights and stuff. But the fact that it was only the second time it ever happened in UFC, it got like a lot of views because
Yeah.
it's one of those like crazy techniques.
My
But it is what it is, bro. Now, I moved on and life moved on. I'm doing
If you're
great.
a fighter, you gotta have a good team around you.
and you have to have a thick skin too.
Like,
Yeah, it was hard. Like
But-
I couldn't go on Facebook after
I
that
got-
for a while.
I got
It was
TKO'd.
brutal.
I got TKO'd that one fight, and not even on a big promotion that was like.
Yeah.
But people saw it, and I got into a little Twitter spat with a guy or X spat, whatever you want to call it, and whatever. I think I was right in the argument. Maybe I was wrong. I don't know. But the guy goes, "This you, bro?" And he posted the thing. I'm like, damn! I had to shut my mouth. I'm like, that's me. That sucks.
Yeah, because you can't go into his life and be like, "Is this
Yeah.
you?" You know?
Is this you messing up at the office?
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
Did you not file that paperwork?
It's
Yeah.
it is what it is. But look, if you have a team around you that you know thinks you're the man,
Yeah.
then it doesn't really matter what everybody else thinks.
Yeah,
you know?
for sure. Because we all have a bad day.
Doesn't
We can all, first of all, we can all get caught with
We
the
all
punches.
concede to the fact that getting caught is a part of the sport.
Yeah, and like we can all get tired. Like I know that like let's say like my 2 fights ago, I had to fight with Javid in March. I got sick twice in camp.
Yeah.
And it was a brutality. And I was like doubting myself. But my brother's like, no, you're fine. Just keep going. Like, see past it. You'll be ready. You're going to be okay. Like we was taking the medicine I had to take and stuff. And I just did it, man. And I just showed up to camp. It wasn't it wasn't a picture perfect camp in terms of health because I got sick 2 times.
Yeah.
But I ended up doing the job,
That's it.
and people are gonna doubt you. People are gonna talk trash, and I was like a total underdog,
Yeah.
brutal
No,
underdog
yeah,
in that fight.
I think minus 11.
Nobody,
something
not,
crazy.
I don't think anybody thought I was gonna win. No, only, I think there was one.
I thought you were gonna win.
One journalist, yeah, I'm talking about let's say journalist, but my team thought I could
journalist,
win. But there was one journalist man that was like, yeah, this guy can win. I was like, what the hell? This was cool, but
It's crazy. I know you were a big underdog in that fight because even random strangers I'd meet at the gyms
Yeah.
in Toronto would be like, "Aieman's got a tough fight."
Yeah,
this time."
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Shut up.
yeah, that's what happens when you fight somebody who's undefeated,
Yeah.
It's,
And the guy had a lot of hype. Like journalists,
Yeah.
when you are riding a big wave and you're in a good team, journalists will just be like blowing you constantly. Oh,
Yeah, and the
this
guy
guy's
is
so
good.
And
It's not easy to get to 15-0.
also,
It's-
rumors spread around a guy.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
like all of a sudden, a guy who's been doing well is the next biggest thing. He's going to
Yeah.
be world champion, you know? So,
Yeah, and he had a lot of big name teammates. I'm sure they talk good
Exactly.
about him too. Like if they get interviewed, they're like, cause sometimes they ask me like, oh, who's in your camp? And I drop names. Oh,
Yeah.
Mandel, Louie in my camp, Ryan Hall, whatever. So I'm sure a lot of people were like, oh, he's training with like a lot of these guys who are top of UFC.
And
so,
they're saying he's
yeah,
good.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
he is good. And
But
he's actually got a fight coming up.
But
Yeah.
a lot of it is also the fanfare people get. So that guy's from Afghanistan, right?
Yeah.
So like, there's
he's
not
getting
many.
murdered
There's
by
not
him.
many prominent Afghani
Yeah.
fighters in the UFC. So like, obviously they're a proud people, so they're gonna back their guy 100%. So that has a lot to do with like the hype around guys. I think we don't pay attention to that enough. But when you come from a country from there that has so much pride, anybody they have who's doing
back
anything
their
good, and
guy.
that's a great thing to have. Of course, it's great to have a country behind you. But I think it inflates a lot of what like even journalists think, analysts think, and what a lot of other people think. I think we don't
talking
pay
about
enough.
this guy.
Like, Javid has 100,000 plus, maybe 120,000 Instagram followers.
How many do you have right now?
20.
20?
I actually have,
Get him to
I have
100,000.
Get him to
18,800. I'm barely at 20. I'm not even at 20.
Get up to
only
100.
only 20 people follow this guy.
Follow me on YouTube, man. I need I need more fans on YouTube. And then he's fighting, actually has a tough fight, Javid. He's fighting Ricky Simone.
Okay.
That's a tough one.
That's a tough fight because he's very game, a lot of experience, Ricky.
Is it Ricky Simone or
Yeah.
is Simon?
No, Ricky Simone.
I'm pretty sure
He's
it's
the guy with the
Simone.
hair that choked up Marab?
Yeah, it's
Cool guy.
Simone.
He's beat Merab, exactly.
He beat a lot of prospects, that guy.
He was in the top 15.
Big, thick fella.
Yeah, he looks
He was in
strong.
the top 15. He's really good. And he's got a lot of cardio. He had a crazy fight. Tough fight with Mario Batista too. Mario Batista is doing really well also. Yeah, so that's
He's the guy that beat Jose?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the guy who's getting a lot of flack.
Yeah, he's getting a lot of flack for
Poor
that
guy.
fight. Yeah.
That's
But he did what he had to do, man.
People are like, why are you holding him? Why did he get off?
Yeah. Why doesn't he get off the fence, man?
It's true.
It's a
He's
tricky,
been in the UFC a long time.
It's a tricky situation.
It's sensitive.
Because the judging changed, right, in the past, 5 years or whatever, and I think judges are still
3
stuck
years
on the
or
old way.
something.
Like, and Jose, I think Jose is the man. I think he's top 2 all time,
Yeah.
but he does do this thing where he defends every takedown, but then he gets pinned on the fence, and he's like yawning, like, oh, this
Yeah.
guy. But like
You gotta
a lot
get
of
out
people
of there.
see that optically as like you're losing the fight.
Yeah.
it's a strange situation. It happened to him twice. It happened in the Rob fight
Yeah.
as well.
Yes, because Merab couldn't take it down.
And then he's like,
Yeah.
but you know,
There's no damage, right?
Exactly.
There's no damage. But it is hard to control another grown man against the fence. Like, take a guy who's trained and hold him against the fence. And you're untrained. If an untrained guy
No,
tried to
yeah.
hold me, there's no way he's holding me against the fence.
Don't even try it.
Yeah.
Don't.
But like,
If you see me on the street, don't try to hold me back.
put Mandel up against the fence. See him in a bar.
Don't do anything to me.
Yeah, it's not easy to hold a guy either. Controlling him, making sure he can't hit you. I don't love it either, but like I get why they do it because Aldo's a heavy hitter, good striker, and you know that's one way to. Take
I
advantage.
also get the hate because Jose is so beloved.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
of
it's
course.
And
hard to-
rightfully so.
Yeah, of course, he's the man. Jose is the man. One of my
Louis
favorites.
hates him.
I love
Yes.
Jose Aldo.
No. He told me
There's only one MMA fighter I hate, and I'm sitting right next to him.
Oh.
These
Hate
guys
his
have-
style. Boring.
Who else is on the card?
We got a big fight.
By the way,
this is the people's main event. Benil Dariush
Oh, yeah, I love
Your
versus
favorite man.
Renato Moicano.
Wow.
Yeah,
That
Moicano.
guy is crazy.
Both cool guys.
Both cool guys.
Yeah.
I'm rooting for them both. I hope it's a draw.
I love Moicano because he's my
I'm a
Bitcoin
fan.
brother.
Yeah. You guys both, you and Benil both own Teslas, so that
Oh,
you
nice.
better vote for him.
Yeah.
And we're doing votes for these fights as well. Whoever gets the most votes gets a 10-9.
Yeah.
Whoever gets the most votes wins the fight.
Yeah, I think so.
That should be how
The
fighting
fight is
decided.
irrelevant.
Yeah,
They need to campaign for the win.
yeah. That would be cool, dude.
It's a populist
It's,
thing,
not
it's
bad.
democratic.
Yeah, exactly. That is a cool fight.
But like, I don't know, like, who would you give the advantage to in that fight? Because I think Moicano's coming up, and he doesn't have crazy KO power, but he's game. He game plans.
Who?
And Dariush has power, but he's been knocked out a few times, and he's a
he's
sick grappler.
Unfortunately for him, he's had a rough go his past 2 or 3 fights, right?
Yeah.
He fought Arman and he got knocked out. He fought Charles and he got knocked out. And then, did he come off another loss, or is it just 2?
I don't know.
Either way, both guys are really good. I think you have to give it to Moicano just because he's on the surge, and Benil has been taking a break, and his last 2 fights were losses.
Yeah. And he won an award. I was there at his speech when he got the UFC Humanitarian Award.
Mm-hmm.
He's not in the gym all day. You know, he's doing a lot of nice humanitarian stuff, which is good, and he helps out a lot of people. I'm just wondering, like, he's made a lot of money, he's very well established. Like, how much effort is he putting in for this fight? You know,
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's not. I'm just saying, you gotta ask yourself. You know, he's getting up there in age. Sometimes age doesn't matter when the guys are still hungry.
And camps get tougher.
Yeah.
You know, like,
You have mileage on your body.
especially after the way he lost his last 2 fights.
Yeah.
It's hard to come back in the gym and just do a fresh camp. You know,
Yeah.
you got to think about getting hurt to the head. And if your body's okay, doing the reps you need to do. So I don't know. I think obviously Moicano's found some perfect balance.
Yeah, he's doing great. He's
hitting
on
it
a
hard.
tear.
You know, and like beating a guy like Benoit Saint Denis the way he did, so clean like that, is
That was one of the
a lot of
That was
people
the
think
game
that's
planning.
impossible.
I thought it was the game plan.
Exactly.
Yeah,
one
really
of the
helped.
worst first round beatings I've ever
Yeah.
seen. One of the most damage I think I've seen personally done in round 1.
And when you see
I didn't
jiu-jitsu-
think it was going to be that much of a blowout, to
No.
be honest.
I thought BDS is a very hard fight for everybody.
Yeah, but you know, sometimes it's how it is. Like we were saying, you get caught.
Yeah.
You know, and I think now he's on a 2-fight losing streak.
Yeah.
That- I've been there. I
Yeah,
lost
yeah,
2 in a
yeah.
row in the UFC. I was on my last fight of my contract. I had everything on the line. You're either gonna rise to the occasion, or they might close the curtains on you. You're gonna have to get out and go to a different league, fight your way back in, like Yusuf Zalal did actually.
Yeah.
Very impressively, he made his way back to the UFC. He's fighting one of our friends who's training here now, Calvin Cater. So
Good man.
That fight's coming up in February as well.
But I would say that Moicano, his ground looked so good in the Benoit Saint Denis fight. And I'm hoping for a ground fight because Benio's ground is crazy.
Yeah.
Who did he beat on the ground? He beat somebody
Beat
good.
Tony Ferguson, man.
Didn't he beat Grant Dawson on the ground?
I don't know. You gotta have these stats.
Anyway, look.
Episode 2, we're gonna have stats.
That's not what this is about.
No,
Yeah.
This is shit talk.
This is fan fiction.
You throw this away. Don't take any of this to the bank.
But then another interesting fight on the card.
What is it?
Guys, this one's maybe the most interesting fight on the card.
You just said it about the last card.
No, forget
They're all
that.
interesting as a
Forget
thing.
that. This is the most interesting fight on the card. Kevin Holland fighting
De Ridder.
Renier de Ridder from Holland.
His countrymen.
That is unbelievable.
Yeah.
I can't believe the UFC is not marketing that better.
Yeah.
This fight is going to do numbers in Holland.
100%. It's Holland versus Holland.
I wasn't
Who's
impressed
gonna
with
win?
the
Holland.
last outing of the Ritter, man. I couldn't believe how tired he got.
Yeah,
I think-
like I was saying, he didn't look great, but he was fighting a pretty well-established guy.
Yeah.
Who's good enough on his first UFC fight. I think that people discount how tough it is to just enter the UFC, be on the main card, and do well.
Yeah, those UFC jitters are definitely something that...
So
That's
I
real.
think I'm expecting him to do better than he did in his last fight. Holland,
His striking was terrible.
it wasn't good.
Listen, it was a brutality. I love the guy. Nice. I'm sure he's a nice guy. I don't even know him,
Just
but
falls onto people.
his jiu-jitsu's sick.
Yeah, he's
Grappling
big.
is incredible. Wrestling grappling is really, really, really good. He's not explosive at all. I'm giving the edge to Holland, man. That's my pick.
Who knows?
Either way, Holland wins this fight.
Either the country or the guy.
The country
Congratulations
or
to
the
Holland.
man. Congratulations
You
to
guys are really showing
Holland.
up in a big way.
This was a win-win.
Yeah, Louis, what's the next big fight?
Oh, this is an interesting one. Bantamweight bout.
This
It
one might
is-
be the fight of the night.
This one's probably the best fight on the night. Underlooked. Overlooked, excuse me.
Overlooked.
Underrated, overlooked. Peyton Talbot versus Rowney Barcelos.
Yeah, it's a good test for Talbot. First couple of fights he had in the UFC weren't the best talent. And now he's facing a guy who's been up there with a lot of the big names. So I'm excited to see how it goes. And he plays a good striker.
He's been doing great.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of hype around him. I think he's probably a cool guy. I think
Yeah.
fans are attracted to a guy who isn't the cookie cutter MMA type of guy.
Yeah.
That's like propelling him even further than his
He says
fight resume.
Talbot says that Andrew Tate is his
Antithesis to him, yeah.
I don't know what that's about.
He's just going off on Tate.
Who knows?
Andrew
Like,
Tate
I don't even
catching
know-
strays
I
out
don't even
there.
know if Andrew Tate is what he even is. Like, it's weird to say that in an interview. I feel like you're just saying the guy's name for nothing.
Yeah.
You know.
Is he even relevant anymore, Andrew Tate?
Super
Do
relevant.
people? Is he
Super
still relevant?
If you guys are not on X, then.
I'm on X. I'm on X. Is he
Huge on
relevant?
X.
Really?
Huge on X. Yeah, yeah.
What's he doing?
He's
over
running
there?
for. He's running for governor or mayor of London.
Is he still
Mayor of London? He doesn't. But he lives in Romania, no?
Yeah.
How can you do that? Can you
Well,
do
he's
that?
a- he's a citizen,
Zoom
right?
exists now.
I think he's a British
He'll be
citizen.
Zoom.
He lived there for a long
governor.
time.
Is he in jail or no?
His thing is called Bruv, and it's like an
Is it a
acronym.
podcast? What is it?
It's the name of his movement. We can look it up. Look it up on your thing.
I
I'm
don't know
holding
about all
stuff.
this.
But
Does
anyways,
he still wear a turtleneck?
sometimes.
I always
Yeah,
like the
I was
look.
topless
of
a lot of the
turtleneck.
time.
Yeah, I don't like that. So
Louis likes that.
You know what's crazy? You know what's crazy being a guy like him and having tattoos as bad as he does. You know,
Oh,
he's got
brutal.
some brutal tattoos.
He's got a lot of money.
He's supposed to be this rich guy.
Yeah.
He had a
I
nice
got a
tattoo.
Bugatti.
Louis, would you get a
You know?
tattoo?
I have a tattoo. I have a bad tattoo that I
Louis
got
has
when I
one of
was
the-
like 15 years old.
I will
One of the
say-
worst.
Illegal, by the way.
I don't think it's illegal with parental consent.
Oh.
My mom had to
Oh, your
come
mom
sign
signed
for me.
for it. Wow.
Yeah, she said
That's crazy.
she told me you can have a tattoo, but you can't have your ears pierced.
Ah.
So we agreed.
Okay.
And my mom did not want me to get my ears pierced. She's like, the tattoo's hidden. It's fine, but you will not.
That's
Dude, my
funny.
brother got his ears pierced like a week later. He got kicked out of the house for a week.
Crazy. Oh, wow.
My mom was not down with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Louis'
just what it
tattoo
is.
is significantly better than Andrew Tate's. Let's just
Yeah,
put
we
that.
call him the Axeman.
It's beautiful.
It's a terrible tattoo, and there's even a line missing on it, which is great, which is a very funny little detail that A
I
lot
think
of
you should
people
have
miss.
got it between your eyes.
That would have been cool.
Down
That would have
your
been
nose.
cool.
Oh man, somebody pointed out that I don't know if it was Photoshop or not, but Cody Garbrandt has his tattoo here. It's like a sword or something.
I think it's real, yeah.
But it's like a cross or whatever. Yeah, no, I know the tattoo's real, but they zoomed in and they're not like
A line.
aligned properly. Like they're a little bit off. I don't know if
That's
real.
a crazy move.
That's a-
Yeah,
yeah.
face tattoo is.
I'd sue that tattoo
crazy.
artist, man, if that shit wasn't
Yeah.
straight.
I don't know.
Anybody else fighting?
Yep. We got
So we're picking different guys. You guys are thinking Holland. I'm thinking. Well, no.
No, I'm
Eamon's
thinking
thinking
Holland.
Holland. I'm thinking De Ridder. Louis thinking Holland, the country,
Yes.
the country wins no matter what.
which is a good take.
Yeah.
Take that to the.
We
bank.
got two guys who I love and I know them both so well. Jailton Almeida and Sergey Spivak. That's a big fight. It's a heavyweight fight. I knew that.
That's
That's
awesome.
why it's
Who else
big.
is on the card?
I think we don't even. I think one thing we missed is discussing Jiri and Hill.
We just spoke about Hill. We didn't talk anything about Jiri.
Yeah, we didn't even talk
We
about
said
the
that,
fight in general.
Yeah.
I think we spoke about how Hill's unorthodox and we got
Yeah,
to
but
talk
it's
about
hard,
other
you
stuff.
said.
I think that Jiri has had a really rough 2 fights,
Yeah.
and he's probably not ready to fight another big puncher.
Listen, when it comes to getting KO'd and TKO'd and stuff, I'm of the thought that you should take time off.
Yeah.
Let your brain heal.
Seems
relax,
fast.
Concussion protocol.
Yeah.
But some guys just get right back in there and they're fine too. Or they get knocked out a bunch. But you're rolling the dice, man. So I don't know.
It seems fast.
Is
no?
his chin dissipating? Is it going to be lesser in this fight? Because to be like, he's got really good offense. He hits like a truck, but he's lacking on the defensive side. So he's kind of hittable. But a lot of times he wins. He's getting hit and hitting back and knocking the guy out.
He's a chin bully.
Yeah. So I
Like,
don't know if that's going to work this time around.
I remember his debut against Ozdemir.
Yep.
No time. I remember round 1 thinking like, man, this Jiri guy's nuts. He's
Yeah.
getting smoked.
Yeah.
And he just went out there, 8 shots, and knocked the guy
Yeah.
out. And that's happened pretty consistently in his
Yeah.
career, right? Like
Even before UFC.
before the UFC, and then who was the fight? Rakic, maybe.
Yeah, Ratchet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was getting pieced up too, and then he just knocked the guy out. Dominic Reyes, he was getting pieced up
Yeah,
and he knocks the guy
as well,
out. Like
yeah.
it's a weird way of fighting, and
Yeah.
eventually you just can't do that
Yeah,
anymore.
yeah.
Especially against guys that hit as hard as all those guys.
Well, they're light heavyweights, right? I mean, those guys all hit
Exactly.
hard.
They
Those
all
guys
hit hard.
Keyword here is light.
Heavyweight was what we all tune in for.
Yeah, so it's tough out there. So that's the whole card.
No, there's the main
No.
event.
There's a lot of
We're gonna
fights.
talk about the main event. We're not talking about
The
those.
main event's gonna be last.
We're not going to talk about Bogdan
Impossible.
Guskov versus Billy Elikana.
Impossible.
2 household names.
Look, I love the guys. They're
Who's
the best
next? Who's
fighters in the
next?
world. We gotta skip it.
Grant Dawson versus Diego Ferreira.
Cool fight. Good
Next.
fight.
Good
But
fight.
Skip it.
Zach Reese versus Azamat Bekoev.
So this is a short notice fight because Zachary's opponent had pulled out, so this guy's jumping in last
Oh
minute.
wow, Eamon knows. I knew that
I
too.
saw it on
Actually,
Twitter actually. So yeah, and
we
what's
have
next?
Thank you,
Carol
Twitter.
Rosa versus Ailin Perez, and I think Ailin Perez is famous for twerking after every win. I
Oh
believe
yeah,
that's
yeah.
a
She
thing.
trains at.
Her coach smacks her butt, I think, after she does it.
It's
or
Awesome's
something.
girl.
Classic move.
Is it Awesome trainer? I think. I don't know.
Then we have Rinya Nakamura, undefeated Japanese guy, versus Muin Gafarov.
Okay.
Okay, and then we have former colleague of Eamon's, Ricky Tercios versus
Oh.
Bernardo Sopai.
Okay, Sopa is the guy who. He was winning that fight against that Vinicius guy, and he got knocked out with a flying knee in round 2. Remember?
Yeah.
He was ahead. I fought on the same card as him. That's gonna be an interesting fight. He's a strong. So you see that guy Sopa is a very strong start,
Yeah.
but then fades. And Ricky is a dog. Ricky's the kind of guy who starts slow but picks it up as you get tired. He turns fights around. And then what's the last fight?
Tagir Ulambekov versus Clayton Carpenter.
Nice.
2 household names.
We wish those guys all the best. For
Yeah,
Sure.
wish them all the
Some of the
best.
greats.
So now to the main event.
We got Islam Makachev versus Armin Tsaruki.
Yeah, like I said, Armin, my Armenian boy, my wife's Armenian, my kids are half Armenian, so I'm kind of rooting for him. Islam Makhachev, my Muslim brother. So I'm torn on this fight. I don't have a dog in this one. Who do you guys think?
I would have to choose Islam for sure. Easy choice for me.
Louie?
Just to throw a little curveball here, I'm gonna go with Armin.
Nice.
I'm gonna go with Armin just for fun.
I thought you were going to go with the fans.
What do you think his secret weapon is? He said he's going to do something in this fight that he's never done before.
Flying triangle, 100%.
He's never done that.
Flying triangle, 100%. He's throwing that up there, and he may finish it with a flying triangle. But honestly, for me personally, that's like a 60-40 fight for Islam. They had a close fight before.
It was short notice for.
It was short notice for Armin.
Armin, right?
And he was a lot less experienced. Now he has that Oliveira fight in his pocket. I think he's gained a lot of experience since then. I think it's like a 60-40 fight for Islam, and I'm giving it to him because he's the champion. He's done so well on his run as
You
champion.
just flip-flopped. You said Armin.
Yeah, because I went to go against the grain. I wanted to go against the grain. I'm also trying to stay safe. So if Armin wins, I look like a genius. But if Islam wins, I look like, oh, Louie made the right call. So genius.
One thing that people don't talk about, like, sure, tough fight, coming into the UFC fighting one of the best guys in the world, Islam Makhachev.
Yep.
But being Islam Makhachev, taking a short notice fight against a guy as tough as Armin is also not easy. And you saw it happen to him in the Volk fight. You do underestimate these guys that come in short notice, and you just take it. You're like, all right, I'll get this guy out of the way. So I'm expecting Islam to come in looking like rematch Volk shape, where he's ready for everything, and he won't be overlooking any of the things that Armin is able to do.
Yeah.
That's my take.
Now think about this for a second. Think about this.
Yeah.
Armin Tsarukyan, Armin Guillotine.
I thought about it, and that's why Armin's my favorite to win.
But isn't that Islam's move? He does like arm triangles and anacondas and stuff. Isn't that what he says that he's so good at?
Is slam you. Maybe he slams you on the ground.
I slam you. Yeah,
Exactly.
that's true.
I slam you.
So any of these possibilities could happen.
Yeah.
But I
So
think,
you're definitely gonna watch the fights.
how could I not?
Yeah.
And I'm going to stay up late to watch it.
If you are going to watch it, you're going to order it on Sportsnet because we're Canadian and we like to sponsor my broadcast team, right?
That's
I pre-ordered it already. I pre-ordered. I got the discount. I think last week they were giving a $10 discount.
There was a Valentine's Day
I pre-ordered it. I pre-ordered it, but I also gave a tip.
Nice.
I gave a tip because I like to
put
sponsor.
my name on as a note.
I like to sponsor big corporations. I think they don't make enough money, so I'd love to just give
Every
them
little
more.
bit counts.
Every
That's
little
the
bit
thing.
counts,
So
exactly.
please, guys, donate to Sportsnet any way you can.
Yeah.
They need...
They don't need it.
No, they don't need it. They're doing great. They're doing great. They don't need it.
They don't
But
need the money.
We need them.
Yes.
We need them.
We need
Exactly.
them.
So if we
keep
want-
them in business.
If we want to keep them happy,
Yeah.
give
We
them
don't want
money.
Sportsnet mad. We don't want to see them when they're angry.
Yeah.
No, it's going to be a good fight. I think this is probably one of the best cards that's happened in a long time. I don't know.
Yeah.
What's
Especially
the
the
better one?
Bogdan Gustav fight come happen.
Really bad.
That guy's my favorite fighter. Just saying.
Okay, every fighter. Obviously, I'm joking, guys. I'm a fighter. Every fighter
It's important.
every fighter is important.
Deserves love.
It's very
Fighter
cool.
is the most important.
I'm just being funny.
fighter
But every
deserves
fight
love.
to that fighter is the most important fight. So obviously, tune in for the whole card.
Guys-
That's the best.
Thanks for tuning in. If you stayed this long to the podcast, we appreciate you. Please follow Louie on his Instagram to get all the movie reviews.
The Louie Graham.
Yeah.
We're going to be doing movie reviews on the podcast.
We will be doing movie reviews. We all have very different tastes in movies.
Yeah.
When it's a light fight week, we're going to branch out and do all
Yeah.
sorts of stuff. This is a variety
If there's ever
show.
another week off of no fights.
Yeah, exactly.
We have to find something
We're
to
going to
talk
be talking
about.
about all sorts of bullshit.
Mandel is also on Instagram, Brad Garbage.
That's
Check him
right.
out. Okay, he posts a lot about rats. It's very intriguing stuff, very
That's right.
artistic. He also has a cool playlist on his website.
Mm-hmm.
Check that out.
Listen to music.
So guys, please subscribe on YouTube, like, comment, talk trash, whatever it is.
Leave a
Thank you.
tip. Leave a tip.
Yeah,
Come
send
train
us-
at our gym. Come train
Yeah.
at TriStar Gym if you
Yeah.
want.
Don't.
Bye guys.